In OSU, there are plenty of ways to enjoy the game, but sometimes you might be doing things in the least efficient way possible. So to help you get better at the game and overall just have a better experience, here's 29 things you might do wrong every day in OSU. Picture this, you're playing an OSU map, and when you get to this one part, no matter what you do, you miss, you get nervous, you can't pass it, you can hit every single part of the map except for this part, and you don't know why. Well, unfortunately, you have what's called mind block. Basically, mind block is just a mental barrier that keeps you from achieving your dreams. Now you could just retry the map over and over again until you hit it, but luckily for you, here are much better ways to do it. Starting with, just stop playing the map. The more you play the map, the more you're just gonna mind block. Or, change your skin. Sometimes a whole different appearance on everything makes it easier to hit. Or, play a harder map and then come back. The difficulty from the new map will make the old map seem a lot easier. You can even change the MP3 file to hear a whole different song. Or, the most drastic measure, and arguably the most effective one, flip your monitor. Yes, playing upside down can actually remove all your mind block, as seen here. Does your aim ever feel a little bit off? Or do you have trouble reaching some parts of your screen? Well, maybe it's time to find your perfect area. Sorry, mouse players. First, set your tablet to full area in whatever software you use. I recommend custom tablet drivers or Haku. Then, hold your pen in a comfortable grip. Once that's done, select the area that you find comfortable, and once you have that, adjust if needed. And voila, your perfect area. If you're ever looking for a specific kind of map, and this is how you're doing it, just use search filters. On screen right now are all of the search filters that you can use. Just head over to the search bar, and let's say for example, you want a map that's below AR 10. Just type AR less than 10. Or if you want a map by a specific artist, do artist equals whatever the artist is. This can save you tons of time. If you're ever trying to FC a map or just play it, and the moment you miss, you instantly hit retry, you may be doing more harm than good. For example, let's say that the next try, you get past that, but then you have no idea what's next, and because of that, you miss. And if you just played the whole entire map, you would have known what was coming up. Also, the more you retry right when you miss, the better chance you'll have of developing mind block. And finally, with this one simple habit, you'll be able to gain better consistency. Have you ever met that person who always blames their lack of skill on their hardware? Oh, if I just had the wooting, I would have hit that whole stream. Or, oh, if I just had that $1,000 tablet, I would have hit all those jumps. Or, oh, if I just had that $10,000 gaming PC, I would be #1 right now. Anyway, I think you get the point. You don't need the best hardware to be good at OSU. For example, FG Sky. For the longest time, this man used to use a laptop keyboard, a pillow for his mouse pad, and a toilet paper roll to hold the laptop up. And oh yeah, he was playing on his bed too. So if FG Sky can use all of that to be good at OSU, a monitor, tablet, and keyboard should be fine. Are you an OSU player but you have no idea what that bar means at the bottom of your screen? Well, your accuracy probably looks like this. This is the hit error bar, and it shows you how good your timing is. If you're on the left of the bar, then you're too early. And if you're on the right of the bar, you're too late. You want to be in the middle. And so to get there, you can change your offset before the map starts using minus for hitting the notes too early and plus if you're hitting it too late. Now everybody knows these skills: aim, speed, accuracy, consistency, but arguably probably the most underrated skill that you need to play OSU well is reading. In OSU, reading is simply just looking at your screen and understanding what you have to do to hit the circle. The better you understand what's happening on your screen, the more your overall skill will increase. Some common ways to improve reading is look at every note, look at every pattern, or by using the music. And if you don't think that reading is important, have you ever seen a good reading player be bad at the game? I didn't think so. If you're going back to the main menu every time you want a new skin, or you're manually pressing escape and retry to retry a map, just use shortcuts. You can press Ctrl O if you want to access your settings at any time you want, Ctrl R if you want to retry a map instantly, or maybe Shift Tab if you want to hide the gameplay interface. And on screen right now is every single shortcut that I can find that can be useful for you. And speaking of shortcuts, if you're ever pressing F2, but you wanted to go back to a map that you were just on, press Shift plus F2. That way you won't find yourself looking through a bunch of maps to find what you missed. Now, if you want to be good at FPS games and you think OSU could be your next aim trainer, then unfortunately, you're very mistaken. 2D aim is very different from 3D aim. They are not the same at all. And vice versa. If you're good at OSU, it doesn't mean you're good at aiming. All it means to be good at OSU is that you just don't go outside. Does your tablet pen seem to slip out of your hands every time you play? Well, ever heard of grip tape? There's a reason why most OSU players use grip tape. Your hands get sweaty. So all you gotta do is buy some grip tape for like $2 at most. Wrap it around your pen and say goodbye to all your slippery troubles. So have you ever reached a wall in OSU where you seem to be playing all the time but never get any better? Well, perhaps your solution is your playstyle. And I don't mean switching your whole entire setup. I just mean changing up the way that you play. For example, example, maybe try changing the way you tap. Maybe you could hover your wrist above the table instead of setting it down, or maybe change the way you hold your tablet/mouse. Or you can even try ring index. It may look pretty weird and may resemble a spider, but it's actually pretty common and can help a lot of players out. For example, I still play middle index, but in a kind of weird way. Instead of using Z and X, I pretty much use Z and C instead. I don't really know how to explain that, but it helped me turn my streaming from 180 BPM to 260. Or another example is a Secret Box. Used to be a tablet player, but he actually switched back to mouse, and by doing that, he got a lot better. So you never know what can happen when you change your playstyle. So despite everything, do you still not improve no matter what you do? Well, for example, if you only play 6 stars and you never play 7 stars, well, that's the reason why. It may seem very simple, but it's often very overlooked. The reason being is that most people like to get very comfortable within their own star rating, and they don't really want to play a map that's hard for them, they just want to chill out. And I mean, understandably, if you want to chill out, that's fine, but if you're wondering why you're never improving, then you have to play something that's outside of your comfort range. So if you've been playing Osu for a while, you've probably heard these quotes, such as, Osu is just genetics, there's no way for me to improve. If I have no talent, I can't get anywhere in this game. Or, every time you miss, every time you choke, you just want to instantly get off, you think you're the worst player in the world, and you start raging. Essentially, with a really bad mindset, you'll never go anywhere. In fact, you'll probably get even worse and quit the game entirely. So instead of believing that Osu is just genetics, believe that over time, if you put in the work, you'll truly get better. And legitimately, that's actually how it works. Osu is not that hard of a concept. The more you play and the harder maps you play, the better you get. It's pretty simple. And instead of getting mad over the game and raging over a choke or a bad day, just chill out. It's just circles. If you were super close to FCing, say that it's doable and that if you keep playing, one day you'll eventually get it because your skill will get better. There's other examples of what you can do to maintain a good mindset, but just know that without a good mindset, you'll never go anywhere. And if you do, it's gonna be really painful. Now, this may seem really obvious, but people tend to forget about it. Osu is a rhythm game. So if you're over here listening to other music while playing, or not having the sound on, or mistiming everything, Osu will be really hard for you. So a general tip that helps a lot of people stay in rhythm is having your hit sound volume louder than your music volume. It may seem weird at first, but if you can get used to it, your accuracy will go up, you'll be able to predict patterns better, you'll be more in rhythm, and pretty much just an overall better time. Keep in mind though that this is all preference, and some people play without hit sounds or without music and they still do fine. How that works, I have no idea, but what's most important is that you're most comfortable when you're playing. Are you tired of playing a really long map and all of a sudden it gets super hard and you die and instantly fail because you had no idea what's going on? Or do you wish you could just practice one part of the map? Just make practice difficulties. It's really easy, and here's how. Go to the map you want to practice, press F3, then click edit. At the top left, click file, then create a new difficulty, name it whatever you want, and click no. Then using the bar at the bottom, go to the part of the map you want to practice. Once you've found that, go to the top bar, click, drag, press Z, then right click on a circle, and then for the right side you can just click and drag because it'll go really fast. Finally, when you're done, press escape, then click yes, and there you go, free practice. Now, another core aspect of Osu is muscle memory. All muscle memory is the ability to remember a certain motor skill and perform that motor skill without really any conscious effort. And a large part of aiming in Osu is muscle memory. So the question is, how do we attain it? The answer is pretty simple. Just keep your setup consistent. For example, getting used to your area, keeping your tablet in the same position, keeping your same grip, so if you need to take a picture of it or make a video of it, same monitor position, playing at a relatively consistent schedule, you get the point. And also, if you're not sleeping right, you'll never maintain muscle memory. So if you're getting no sleep and you're wondering why your Osu improvement isn't happening, that's why. So everybody knows these kinds of players. They base somebody's entire skill based on a number, their rank. And while at first, it may seem normal to think that a higher number means they're better, but for Osu, that is often not the case. For example, tourney players, they're pretty much forced to stay within a rank gap, and as a result, they don't farm and just work on skill. So while their rank may seem not that good, they're actually really, really good. And I mean, sure, when the gap between both ranks is pretty huge, obviously it means there's a difference. But when it's not that huge, all rank means is just somebody who farmed more than the other person. So whenever you're on Osu, don't just play for rank all the time. Instead, play for skill. And when you gain more skill, you'll gain more rank without even trying. Now, throughout this entire video, I've given a ton of information. And with all the information, plus the fact that Osu can be a stressful game, you might experience what's called burnout. Now, burnout in Osu pretty much means that you're playing a ton of the game, you're putting in tons of hours, tons of effort, but over time, it's just draining. So how do you avoid burnout? What do you do is you take breaks. Strangely enough, you would think that grinding the game 24/7 makes you better, but taking breaks in between sessions is actually the better option. And I mean, sure, if you have an addiction and you want to play a lot, go ahead, but just don't push yourself. And after you're back from your short or maybe even long break, you'll come back wanting to play the game more refreshed, more motivated, and all your energy should come back, as long as you actually want to play. If you don't want to play, then there's really no point. Do you ever miss an Osu and wonder how it even happened? Or do you not have any maps to play and want more good maps? Maybe you want some farm maps, maybe you want some stream maps, or maybe you want to know how much that score would have been worth if you didn't miss. Well, for all of these things and more, there are resources. If you want to always have quality maps to play, then use Osu Collector. It's a website that gives you a ton of collections based on the maps you want. Now for free, you can't download all of the maps at once. It does require you to pay, but even then it's not that much and I'd still recommend it. Also, without paying, you still get a ton of maps, so it's a win-win situation. And if you want farm maps, then use this website made by Grummed. Just put the amount you want, pick the mods, and boom, free rank. Now for Discord bots. If you want to see how you missed, use Miss Analyzer. Or if you want to see how much a map would have been worth, or a ton of other useful stuff, then use OWOBot. The point here is, use helpful tools. Are you able to play only one mod, or maybe only one type of map? Well, unfortunately, you're a one-trick. And while if you want to farm and gain tons of rank, one-tricking may not be bad, but just know that if you learn multiple skills, you can gain much more rank, play many more maps, and just have more fun, honestly. It may really suck at first, but once you get used to it, you could be a much better Osu player. Some main skills to learn are speed, aim, consistency, accuracy, and mods. One of the most famous quotes in Osu is, "Please enjoy game." And honestly, it might be some of the best advice that you can hear. See, if you're over here raging, hating on the game, hating on your skill, comparing yourself to the best players, it's pretty hard to be good at something when you don't even like it. So remember to enjoy the game and have fun. Listen to songs you like, don't farm all the time. However, if you want to move up in Osu, you're gonna have to enjoy the challenge of playing it. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, just do what you like. So do you want an instant way to increase your skill with no effort at all? Well, use these options. Firstly, make sure your frame limiter is set to unlimited. You don't want your game to look like this. And then if you have a dog water PC, then turn on compatibility mode. It might help you out. Also, turn on raw input. When you're trying to aim precisely and fast, why would you want mouse acceleration? Oh yeah, and here's some more preference ones. Automatic cursor size, so when you're playing a small circle map, this doesn't happen. Also, high chat during gameplay. You don't want to be in an intense moment and all of a sudden your friend logs online and distracts you. Turn off combo bursts. You don't want to see an anime girl pop out the side of your screen every 30 combo. Just mess around with it and find what works for you the best. This next one is very simple. Watch your replays. By watching replays, you'll know how you missed. Maybe you gotta aim more to the left, maybe more to the right, maybe you tapped too early. All these things you would never know if you never watch your replays. Now, admittedly, Osu can be pretty demotivating. What do I mean by that? Well, when you see all these top players cranking out scores left and right, you see yourself and you don't see any improvement at all. You're stuck at the same rank, no increase in skill. It makes you just not want to play at all. But this is a horrible mindset. Never compare yourself to other players. In the grand scheme of things, Osu is a single player game, so why even worry about what other people are doing? Just play for yourself and be happy on the small achievements that you get. If the only way you're finding maps is by difficulty, there's a lot more you can do. By using the group and sort buttons at the top, you can customize exactly how you want to find your maps. For example, if you want to play a map that you played yesterday, use recently played. Or if you want to play a map that you just downloaded, sort by date added. And also, use collections. If you want way more maps than you'll ever need, instead of downloading them all individually, download a beat map pack. In this one, there's over 86,000 beat maps. If you want to practice Osu in the most efficient way possible, instead of playing the actual game of Osu, try Mic Osu. It's a free practice client made just for Osu, and it's free on Steam. And finally, if you like Osu, why aren't you watching more of my videos? But anyway, on a serious note, I hope you guys learned something or at least enjoyed the video. If you want to see more content like this, then make sure to subscribe. But anyway, that's all for now. Later.